Hey guys, so you're watching Mia's new pair of glasses, and the topic of today's video is sunscreen and how sunscreen is actually the thing that is causing cancer, even though we're told we need it to protect our skin from cancer. And we're going to talk about why this agenda is pushed. How we know where to go is we follow the money. That's where we look. For years, we've been conditioned with creative ads and doctors and people telling us how we need sunscreen and it's good for us. However, this is a big business. There's a lot of money generated. And so we know that whatever we're told to do by the establishment, we need to do the opposite. We've been taught to fear the sun. We're also going to discuss these cancer-causing chemicals, the culprits of what's causing people problems, and what you really need to do as far as how much sun you get. So let's get down to the root problem of all the things that we face today as far as what we consume. In 2013, the global sun care market generated $5.6 billion from its sun protection products segment globally. With that kind of money on the line, it's no wonder we are force-fed this false information of the things that we need to buy and use on a daily basis. We've been made to fear the sun, and as a result, adults and children are choosing to drench themselves in a bath of toxic, hormone-disrupting chemicals. One study conducted at the Facility of Pharmacy at the University of Manitoba, Canada, sought to develop a method for quantifying common sunscreen agents. Results demonstrated a significant penetration of all sunscreen agents into the skin, meaning all of these chemicals are entering multiple tissues within the body. These chemicals include oxybenzone, triclosan, parabens, phthalates, and more. So the next question becomes, are the ingredients used to make sunscreen, which are entering into our bloodstream, something to be concerned about? The science given to us by the corporations who profit from the sale of sunscreens say no. But I think by now we have established how trustworthy such corporate-funded science is. It wasn't long ago that Johnson & Johnson, for example, was found guilty of knowingly putting a cancer-causing agent in their baby powder. Yet we know the various chemicals found within sunscreens are toxic, and we know that our skin absorbs whatever we put onto it. We will discuss a few examples of these chemicals. Oxybenzone. This could in fact be the most troublesome ingredient found in the majority of popular sunscreens. Used because it effectively absorbs ultraviolet light, it's also believed to cause hormone disruption and cell damage, which could promote cancer. Commonly used in sunscreens, the chemical oxybenzone penetrates the skin, gets into the bloodstream, and acts like estrogen in the body. It can trigger allergic reactions. Data are preliminary, but studies have found a link between higher concentrations of oxybenzone and health harms. One study has linked oxybenzone to endometriosis in older women. Another found that women with higher levels of oxybenzone during pregnancy had lower birth weight daughters. One study out of the Institute of Pharmacology and Toxicology from the University of Zurich determined oxybenzone might also mimic the effects of estrogen in the body and promote the growth of cancer cells. Chemicals that mimic estrogen are widely used in many food products as well. Check out my video on targeting of male preppers and the dangers of canned food, because this is a tactic they have been using, and they are feminizing men with these chemicals that disrupt hormones and mimic estrogen. Next, we're going to talk about retinol palmitate, or vitamin A. A study conducted by the U.S. government scientists suggests that retinol palmitate, a form of vitamin A, may speed the development of skin tumors and lesions when applied to the skin in the presence of sunlight. As Dr. Joseph Marokla explains, this suggests that sunscreen products could actually increase the speed at which malignant cells develop and spread skin cancer because they contain vitamin A and its derivatives, retinol and retinol palmitate. Sun exposure can protect you from cancer. The sun isn't as bad as it's marketed to be. However, corporations are concerned with profit, not people, and telling us that sun exposure can actually protect against cancer isn't going to get us to buy sunscreen. Yet, several studies have made this connection, confirming that the appropriate amount of sun exposure can actually protect us against skin cancer. As many of you probably already know, humans require sunlight exposure for vitamin D. Sunburns are indeed a concern, and there are many studies that link sunburn to melanoma, but due to a wide range of factors such as cultural changes and marketing campaigns, our skin has become less resistant to sun exposure. If you spend a large portion of your time in the sun, your skin adapts to build natural immunity. We are naturally built to receive sunlight, and we have gone backwards in this regard. There are alternative ways to protect yourself from sunburns. You can buy natural sunscreens without harmful chemicals. Questioning big-name advertisements is crucial for our health in these times of information awareness. Sunscreens are a huge contributor to toxins in the body being absorbed within seconds of application. It is not important to know what you're putting onto your body. We now live in a culture where we fear the sun, which is ironic considering it has created all life on Earth. It's important to remember that fear eventually manifests as reality. The sun has many health benefits. Using natural products will ensure that you receive these benefits while keeping your skin safe. Coconut oil has been shown to provide an SPF of about 8 when it comes to sun protection. This means that although its protection isn't very high, it can help. If you were to apply it often, it would not only offer skin protection, but it would also hydrate the skin, making it less susceptible to burning. You may also want to try combining natural sunscreens with coconut oil for protection. To do this at the beginning of your long day out in the sun, use natural sunscreen. But most of us are exposed to many different types of propaganda in the form of advertising on a daily basis. A majority of the time, these advertisements are trying to sell us products we don't need. At this time of year, it's difficult to read a magazine, take a drive, or watch television without hearing or seeing an ad for sunscreen. Mainstream media is obsessed with telling people to avoid the sun and apply copious amounts of sunscreen. Dermatologists and the American Medical Association say the sun is bad and that one should avoid it at all costs. But what are those costs? Recent studies have shown that sunscreen, which has been widely promoted over the last 30+ years, could be doing more harm than good. Sunscreen blocks vitamin D protection, which is an essential nutrient for health and cancer prevention. Many major brands of sunscreen also contain toxic chemicals, which are absorbed through the skin, enter the bloodstream, and then circulate throughout the body. Could blocking vitamin D synthesis and slathering toxic chemicals on our skin actually be among the main causes of skin cancer? One concerning fact about skin cancer is that according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, rates have doubled in the last 30 years, while the use of sunscreen has doubled. The CDC, AMA, and cancer industry continue to recommend people avoid the sun and use sunscreen, while ignoring the importance of vitamin D and a healthy diet for cancer prevention. Is sunscreen a cause of skin cancer? Dermatologists and medical professionals blame the sun for the increase in skin cancer because it is the largest source of ultraviolet radiation. However, many leading-edge doctors and health experts contradict popular dogma about the sun being the main cause of skin cancer. Lifestyle choices and diet play a far more important role than sun exposure when it comes to getting skin cancer. Bernard Ackerman has done specialized studies on cutaneous diseases, and he has found that there is inconclusive evidence that the sun actually causes skin cancer. We also have Leonard Caldwell, who asserts that chemicals in sunscreen cause most skin cancers and not the sun. In addition, a 2004 study in the medical journal The Lancet showed indoor workers were twice as likely to get skin cancer as those who spent more time in the sun. Paradoxically, outdoor workers had a decreased risk in melanoma compared to indoor workers. suggesting that chronic sunlight exposure actually has a protective effect. Lack of sunlight means lack of vitamin D, which is a necessary nutrient for the body's immune system to function properly. Low vitamin D levels are linked to health problems, including cancer. Using sunscreen interferes with that exposure and could actually contribute to the risk of skin cancer. So I'm going to scroll these toxins that are found in sunscreens, and it states what they are. These are the things to look out for that are harmful toxins added to sunscreen. And it's also important to note that there are many more questionable chemicals in sunscreen, never to be proven safe or effective uses on the skin. Andrea Moritz, a leading practitioner in the field of alternative medicine, goes as far as to state sunscreen is the leading cause of skin cancer. The importance of vitamin D3. The best way to absorb adequate vitamin D is to get natural sunlight and avoid sunscreen, which blocks UVB. Vitamin D is essential in growing and maintaining strong bones, promoting a healthy immune system, and protecting against various forms of cancer. It is a fundamental element to human health. On the other hand, chronic vitamin D deficiency promotes cancer and disease and can wreak havoc on one's health. So it is actually recommended to get 15 to 30 minutes a day of direct sunlight exposure. Darker skinned people will need more. In 2014, there was a study that followed almost 30,000 women for 20 years. Researchers concluded that women who avoid the sun are at an increased risk for skin melanomas and are twice as likely to die from any type of cancer compared to those with high sun exposure. Perhaps popular mainstream advice regarding sun exposure and the use of sunscreen is not good for women's health after all. So we're going back to a healthy diet, eating right, high antioxidant-rich foods, things like that have a much greater impact on cancer risks. And check out my video on sugar where I discuss how harmful sugar is to our body, and that actually is harmful to our skin when combined with the sun. Now, there are healthier alternatives if you want to use sunscreen. Zinc is good for that. We talked about coconut oil. And there are many healthy natural alternatives to protect your skin. So next we're going to go back and talk about that chemical, the oxybenzone, what that is, and I'm going to scroll a list of all the products that contain this ingredient. So these are household items, skincare items. It is very dangerous and it's in a lot of products. So I would check out this list and stop using any of these products that have this chemicals and other chemicals like it. So you can see now how it all connects. So the big business of the sunscreen industry, and then combined with all the health problems that using sunscreen is going to cause, is going to send you right into the medical industrial complex where you spend even more money. It's a vicious cycle. So I really, really hope that you listen to this information, that you use sunscreen with caution, and that you stay alert and pay attention to the things that you are consuming and putting in your body. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. Everybody stay safe, be good to one another, and God bless.